Good evening. Welcome to LegalTech Live. This is episode, this is 76? No, this is 76. I'm here tonight with Blaine Korte of Fidu Legal or Fidu app. Are you just Fidu? Is that the name of the company, or is it Fidu Legal app?
Well, it's Fidu Technologies, actually. But
Fidu Technologies, okay.
Um,
And our guest co-host, very special guest co-host tonight, Ashley Pepitone of JurisBytes. And we thank you both for coming. Blaine, you've got an interesting background because you don't have a lot of legal experience. You're coming at this from website design, web applications, mobile web application development. You are a developer. You're a web developer. And you chose to get into the legal tech space, which I want to hear all about that. Ashley is a practicing lawyer with Atlanta Divorce. Is it Atlanta Divorce Law Group? And she is also a CMO at JurisBytes. So she is both practicing lawyer and she is in the legal tech space. So Blaine, tell us a little bit about your background and how you chose the wonderful world of legal technology.
Well, I started out my career working in agencies, building websites and building apps for clients. Eventually, I have a strong entrepreneurial background in my family.
Okay.
So I knew that I wanted to go on my own and build my own thing. And so I started freelancing, and I got looped into this crazy project with a local nonprofit to build some document automation tools for the family law space. And I still work on that app today, and I've worked on it for about 7 years, I think, now. And yeah, I just really enjoyed kind of the impact that somebody like me can have in legal. I've always kind of said that lawyers and programmers think alike. We take concrete, kind of dry rules and apply them in unique situations repeatedly in different ways, and kind of get to be creative and analytical all at the same time. And so it's always just, ever since I kind of got into it with that family law app, I really enjoyed it. Along the way, realized that I wanted to get more into product work instead of billing hourly for building websites and stuff like that. Is that
right?
Wanting to get away from hourly billing.
Loves hourly billing. So fun.
Joined a local incubator, and we kind of brainstormed kind of different directions to go in. I got hooked up with a local corporate attorney, and we kind of discovered kind of this gap in the market where early stage startups and small businesses couldn't really afford a lot of the startup packages out there, or lawyers were losing a bunch of time developing documents for clients explicitly, and the whole process that a client would go through to use those documents is kind of broken. And so we just started exploring this space, and eventually iterated to kind of where we are now.
Excellent. And Prashant is here from Unicord in the chat, and he says Fidu has a nice sign-up funnel, simple but effective. And I do. You have very clean site. Tell us. We're now live in the Facebook group, and Adam Kerpelman is joining us over there. Hi, Adam. Thank you. Tell us a little bit about what Fidu does.
So Fidu is a platform for both clients and lawyers to work together, and essentially the idea is that when a lawyer delivers contracts to a client, there's a lot of wasted time in that. We clocked it out using real world examples of 2 to 6 hours wasted just delivering basic documents to clients. And so we both speed that process up, and we give clients a contract management system to create, sign, and store those agreements in a safe and secure way. And so we can take a process that right now looks like a lawyer looking through their inbox to find the last agreement they made, the last employment agreement, let's say, bundling that up, tweaking it a little bit to fit this client's specific use case, emailing it across, and then the client is printing it off, signing it, shoving it in a drawer somewhere, and they don't know, 12 months down the road, 24 months down the road, where that is, 10 years down the road, where that is. And so we've created this very streamlined, structured approach to kind of solving that issue. And so there's some interesting outcomes from when you create a process like that. First, we save lawyers time, but also the biggest thing to me is we add some stickiness to this relationship that is a lot of times, startups and small businesses are jumping between lawyers because at that stage, there isn't necessarily a lot of value driven. It's just, I need this thing done. I need this thing done. And it's very transactional. Mm-hmm. And so with tools like this, we can add some stickiness to the relationship and keep that client around longer so that that lawyer that invests some time early on can reap the benefits later with some bespoke work that comes down the road.
Excellent. Ashley, jump in.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions just based on what all you just said, which is a lot. It's very interesting. I think it's interesting that you said you started out designing for the family law space, right?
Yeah.
And a nonprofit. Yeah. So what kind of nonprofit was that?
They're a local public legal education association. So their mandate is to really just provide general information on the law.
Okay.
And access to justice organization.
Got it. So templates for per se, lower income.
It started out being a replacement to these really bad paper kits that the government puts out. And it kind of snowballed into something that helps people triage the problem.
So is that product that you developed for them, is that where you started with? Okay. Yeah. So are you finding that you're attracting clients mostly that are still on the billable hour? Or is it difficult to attract those clients because they kind of want to take a little bit of time reading those documents?
Great question, because so I kind of view this product as a great way for a law firm to move away from hourly billing, but it's completely compatible with it. And so something I didn't get into before is in a lot of these corporate relationships, we've all kind of seen it. There's a lot of cost deferment, or lawyers are just giving away time because they know that this, if it's tech startups, that frequently funding rounds and there's good bills that go with that. And so they're just giving this stuff away. And so now we can, instead of you wasting 2 to 6 hours on this, we can make it a 30-second process if there's not a lot of customization.
And you primarily focused on the contracts right now? That seems to be your entry point?
Yeah, and so the app does some articles and some FAQs and kind of allows the firm to give some just-in-time information along the way, but it is a contract platform.
Okay, sorry, Ashley, I think I cut you off there.
No, that's okay. So it sounds like now most of your focus is on firms that are catering to small businesses and startups, but do you still have civil litigators and family practitioners and other practice areas?
The day will come when we get back into kind of stuff. These are two separate apps, that app that I built for the Access to Justice group. But coming at this from that perspective, I can't look at any legal problem and not see the access to justice angle.
Right.
It's what got me into this. It's what got me interested in legal tech. And so, early on, I think with every startup, the focus is finding customers that have the pain today. To develop the product well and to make sure it gets used and all that kind of stuff. But I would be absolutely open to working with anybody who wants to kind of help us move towards family law. Because you know, one of the things is it's critical that you do it right. I'm not, you know, I don't want to just piece together some document automation and say it's good. You know, I think one of the main benefits that we can help firms with is really that structure there. That we've got the template, it gets customized, it gets signed, it's that kind of very rigid structure that helps. It's actually less rigid than that, but you know, it helps firms come into these products, or gives them an entry point to these products than when it might be daunting to do that otherwise. And I'd want to provide that same kind of experience for family law, but you know, long-winded answer.
That's just the world I'm in.
I want to get back into that kind of stuff eventually too, because I think there's a ton of possibilities for tools like this to help all of
for sure. What about electronic notary?
Not something I've looked into particularly.
You don't have to think of it all right now.
No, I'm just sorry.
Don't let the litigator beat you up. Don't let that happen.
That's what I do.
It is.
Can't turn it off.
Thank you. Diego Alcala is here saying hola, and Tom Martin was also here watching us. So hello to Tom Martin and Kelly Raker from Duke Law Tech. I forget the whole name of the Duke Law Tech program, but Kelly, welcome. If you guys have questions for Blaine, please ask them. Blaine, you guys are in market now, correct? You are selling to law firms. How's the adoption been for you?
It's okay. It's good. It's like
what you can talk about. If it's whatever proprietary stuff, you can jump past it if you don't want to share it.
You know, it's I will say every legal tech company selling to lawyers has sales issues. That's just the name of the game.
76 episodes in a row we've heard.
Right. Yeah. I didn't even write that question down.
But at the same time, you know, it's tough to answer that question because it's not really our sales good or bad. It's like, are we finding the right people? Because when I find the right person, sales is a breeze. But you know, finding that the firm that's at the right stage that kind of is ready to start taking, you know, steps towards, you know, tools like this is actually the real kind of struggle, if I was to call one.
And tell us a little bit. I know I see the wheels turning for Ashley here, but tell us a little bit about, and our viewers tonight, tell us a little bit about your pricing structure.
Sure. So we charge $59 per lawyer per month for up to 50 clients with 10 template documents. So unlimited use of those documents, but 10 documents, and then $149 for 200 clients and 25 documents. And so, and up from there is kind of a conversation.
Okay.
And so that's per lawyer using the tool, not support staff. It's an important distinction.
Yeah.
And you know, anything else in this general space is, you know, more commonly targeted to big law, and has that pricing model. And I kind of wanted to take the opposite approach. I think there's a lot of smaller, medium firms that need things like this, but get priced out of those enterprise tools. And so, yeah, that's the story behind that. And program.
Just as a quick follow-up, are either of those is one a better seller for you than another, or are you noticing pretty even distribution on that?
I would say more trend towards the upper, but
interesting. These are good pieces of information for other founders to know.
One of the things that we do is a no limit trial with 3 documents and 3 clients.
And the
idea is I actually, to be honest, I don't know if I'd recommend other people doing this, but I like it because I can kind of just say like, I'll give you a demo. You can try it around the firm as much as you need to, and when you're ready, we'll talk about expanding it. And to me, that has been a helpful tool. It just kind of eases the, lets you dip your toes in a little slower if you need to.
That's very good.
How'd you guys come up with your pricing structure, if I can ask?
It's
hard.
It is hard.
Yeah,
it's a good question.
There's no structure to it right now. It's kind of, you know, I'm less concerned with the actual number as I am the message that it sends, if this sounds right. I believe in this kind of bottom-up approach, and we'll iterate on pricing from here, but really it was kind of a guessing game of what I think comparable tools, not competing tools, but comparable tools that firms in the demographic would be buying. And kind of a mix of how much time we have to put in per client and all that kind of stuff. I don't know, it's a gut feeling, honestly.
Yeah, and you don't want to price it too low because then they think it's cheap, or they want to take advantage.
Yeah.
You don't want to price it too high because they think it's too expensive and the value's not there. It's a difficult process.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not at the stage where whether I'm charging $59 or $99 is going to keep me up at night. What keeps me up at night is finding the right firms, not whether I'm getting $20 extra a month.
Yeah, that's I think that's good. Yeah. Bring the user. You're looking for the growth in users.
Yeah, I'm looking for people that'll A, use it, B, give us really good feedback along the way, and grow from there. Like from a growth standpoint, I see more down the road. I see more growth from spreading to other practice areas than anything. And so I think, you know, getting kind of the beachhead of getting in the door with one practice area and expanding from there is the strategy that kind of stands out to me.
Yeah, lawyers are friends with other lawyers in different practice areas because nobody else likes us. So
talk about the tools you use.
We are very friendly on LegalTechLIVE. We are very friendly to lawyers. We want to bring the lawyers and the legal tech companies together.
Because you have to.
It's true. It's true. It's true. And because I stand in the center of it is not practicing and being in legal technology. So we've got AJ Richmond here. We've got Adam David Long here. Lori Gonzalez. Thank you for all tuning in. Carol Williams also joined. If you have questions for Blaine Korte. Korte, correct? Got it right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I have to massacre at least one person's name every episode. That is kind of just a running thing. Blaine, are you going slow growth right now? You want to build it sustainably, or are you ready to you know, rocket ship up and to the right and grow as fast as possible?
Yeah, when did you launch also?
Good
So
question.
we kind of launched, I don't know, there was no specific launch date. It's been about 6 months that we've kind of been out there for the most part. It's been a long path in the company to kind of get, you know, the product iterated enough where we did launch.
Yeah, a little backstory there is that Blaine's been reaching out about being on the show for a while, and you weren't. But you weren't quite ready. You had said you're working it up, and now you've got a very clean website for that. So that's a good question. You've probably been launched for 6 months the last time that you reached out, because you asked for input, I think, at one point.
Yeah. And on the growth perspective, I think, you know, I'm not ready to lock into rocket ship. I think. I think there's a possibility of going down that route. I think you can lock yourself into that too early, and I don't want to do that.
So
that's a non-answer to your question, but
that's all right. That's all right. Ashley will depose you here shortly and get an answer to that.
I've done that enough this week.
I noticed that your questions were, okay, for everybody who's watching, I remembered some message that Ashley had written about, do you really want to have another litigator or something like that? She corrected me and told me exactly what it was that she said. And so I expect a little bit more of that here tonight.
Called impeaching you, Nick.
That's how you're impeaching me. Yeah. No, I believe what I said, if I refer to the record. So are you looking for are you doing fundraising right now, or
too early?
What, too
Not
early?
today. No. I flip-flopped on this a lot, actually. The last probably 4 months, I've changed my mind half a dozen times. My number one, like I've said this a couple times, like my number one goal is to find the right firms. And, I think when I have the number that feels right, that's the time I'll fundraise. The other thing is, I know from experience, and I know from other, talking to other founders, just how time consuming the fundraising process is. And I'm a solo founder. I have, other people that help me along the way, but, I'd rather be product focused and customer focused today, than spend, half of my time for 6 months fundraising.
Half or more.
Yeah.
From what I hear.
Okay.
So,
Ashley, what wheels are turning there?
Just thinking about the funding question, and then that led to me thinking about how, I think you mentioned, Blaine, that you come from kind of an entrepreneurial family background as well. Me too. I think it's like a sickness that's passed down.
It's a sickness.
Right?
Doing anything just feels wrong at some level.
Yeah. My dad founded a software company like 20 years ago. So from my perspective, they're completely self-funded, and it's almost like I'm scared to tell him if I give up any equity, and if I don't know. It's do you feel any pressure like that from? Is it your parents or?
No, it's not even. No, so I don't.
It's like a personal problem, I think.
I think they're. I don't know, the history and the no, I don't feel any pressure to go down one route or another, but it just, I just can't. I don't work in a workplace with other people when
right.
I feel like my opinion matters too much. I don't know. It just doesn't work. But like I was, around businesses growing up literally my whole life. When I was younger, my dad had a water treatment business. I'd go into the shop and play with things when I was a kid. And when I was older, my mom had one of the first online travel agencies, online only travel agencies. And so kind of, got into this world through that. And, whether you accelerate or not, business has to be sound. It's just, I don't know. It's a timing thing, and I keep coming back to, I don't think the timing's right for me today. It's not even the equity. It's just the path that you go down when you do that.
So you're building a foundation.
Yeah.
And that's important. If you guys have questions for Blaine, please post them in the Facebook group or over here in the Zoom room, where you can also join in. And it looks like Adam, who loves to just keep me guessing, Adam Kerpelman from Juris at Get Juris, likes to start in the Facebook room and then come here, or vice versa. So anybody have questions, please ask them. Blaine, what is the biggest struggle that you've had in the founder journey?
Going so many struggles.
Yeah. It like the roller coaster is fun. Like I I say fun sarcastically. Like I do enjoy the roller coaster because at some level I'm not the person that can go into a job and do the same thing every day. Like that roller coaster of emotions almost drives me some days. I have small kids, so that also kind of matches the roller coaster in some way. That I would say that is definitely a struggle. Just, part of being a founder is your company is always on your mind.
Right.
It's hard for me to turn off my brain for the 3 hours a day that I'm with my kids. And I have to, but it's difficult to not think about that and to not, it's not even checking emails. It's just like working through something in my head, working through a long-term, short-term strategy, whatever. It's just on my mind, and turning that off is hard sometimes.
Have you found anything that works for you particularly well? Because that's something I think every single one of us can relate to.
When you ask that question, Ashley, do you mean besides desk whiskey?
That's like a last resort. I couldn't do yoga today.
Okay.
So this is my liquid yoga.
I just moved into my office this month, and I do not have a fridge in here. I do not have any.
You don't need a fridge for desk whiskey.
I'm a beer guy, so that was
okay.
I could grab some desk whiskey.
Just a little fridge.
So just for everybody listening, I encourage everybody, cocktails are allowed on this show. This is not your standard legal podcast. So cocktails are allowed, children are allowed, and here we are with two people with young children, and there's not a child bouncing around in the background, not a single one. So I think that's very common, having it on. And of course, when you've got kids on your mind as well, you're just providing for your family as well as, so having the startup is like having another child, because that's also, this is going to provide for this.
Another child that's supposed to feed the other children.
It's supposed to feed the other children.
What the hell?
Yeah, that's serious. And Prashant from Unicorn asks, what is your unique selling proposition?
I would say the whole structure of it. And there's a lot of tools that will do one sliver of what we do. And that's not to say anything bad about those tools. It's but the fact that we do lawyer side document automation, client side document automation, e-signature management, and store those clients online those contracts online in a nice manner, and allow a lawyer to see what their clients are doing. It's kind of all of those pieces being put together that is unique. There's a lot of tools focused on saving the lawyer's time in all of this, but I think unless you bring the clients into it and give them some value added stuff, you're really just you're not really fixing much. So I think going down that end-to-end route is really the main thing that we can provide.
So are attorneys able to also share these documents with other attorneys on the other side who are also reviewing and editing these documents, and maybe do like a red line version? Or
we are, it's funny you say that, because that is something we're launching in a couple months here, is a redlining tool for clients to use with the other signing party or other lawyers.
We're ready for family law.
And now you've got a family lawyer in the U.S. who's ready for you.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't even know that electronic notary was a thing until I Googled it about 15 minutes before we got on. Just like, is that a thing? I wonder. And it totally is, but not in Georgia. There's like 5 states that haven't adopted it yet. So and that's where I am. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting. So that's huge that you're about to launch that, because that's going to open you guys up to a whole mess of different practice areas.
Yeah, and there's some fun kind of implication that come from that. So one of the things that we, a very early decision was to have all of the document editing in our software. So you don't jump out to Word to do it. You do it completely in our tool. And one of the things that gives us is we have an entire, I'm going to use the phrase end-to-end here again, but we have that full spectrum of changelog right from the template that you created amongst your partners in your firm to what's actually being used in the end, and all of the iterations along the way. And so one of the things that we're exploring is how we can kind of surface some data that comes out of that. One example that came up was, is insurance expectations, are they frequently negotiated in a sales process? Can we maybe, cut some of that friction out along the way by knowing what happens in these agreements, or kind of seeing how these are actually used. So we can surface a lot of interesting things that just come from having all of the data along the way.
Are you, you go to market, are you doing it Canada specific or Canada, North America? How are you doing that?
North America. There's nothing specific to Canada or the US. It's all just.
What a Clio. It's in San Diego.
Yeah.
I think you said you're aiming for Clio, right, Blaine?
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Aaron Levine is here. Hello, Aaron. I brought on another family law litigator who was trolling me when you were on.
It's not trolling you. So sensitive.
So sensitive. I'm hugely sensitive. So tell me what your biggest success has been, Blaine. Have you had like a, yes, this is working moment, or just some really exciting moment for you?
Seeing the first agreement done. Yeah, that was kind of the best feeling.
That was a good feeling.
Think of it to top that one. You kind of go through all of the crap along the way to get to customers. So that was a big win.
That's a big win. Ashley, what was a big win for you with JurisBytes? Have you had a similar win?
I mean, when we won Startup Alley last year.
That's a big win.
Was a big one. But we actually launched about 5 minutes before we gave that pitch. So that felt amazing, but also what just happened.
Yeah, that's a big win.
We kind of felt like liars a little bit.
No, are you kidding? That's like Elon Musk does this stuff all the time. He just tweets out something, right? And before it's happened,
smashes windows, right? Is that what
it is. So part of that is marketing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just seeing. Honestly, my firm uses the app that we developed, and it wasn't working properly the other day because we were making some updates to it.
Right.
And
before it's happened,
smashes windows, right?
It is. So part of that is marketing. Are you guys getting the feedback there?
Yeah.
That was me. Sorry.
Oh.
I was trying to load the chat.
So when it stopped working momentarily and everybody freaked out because they needed it so much, that was pretty cool.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah.
Because they become reliant.
It wasn't a good feeling that it broke.
Right.
But it was just for a minute.
That's awesome.
That is very cool. Blaine, where do you want to be in 6 months?
Ooh, that's a good one.
In San Diego at Clio.
Is that in 6 months? Then
Is
yeah.
that 6 months?
It's in October.
Yeah.
No.
Well, it's getting close. Almost 6 months out.
more firms. It's just, I think, and that's not me, trying to be greedy and I want to take over the world. I want more perspectives. I want more feedback. I want more touch points with lawyers and clients along the way. That's a really bad answer, but.
When you say that Clio is your goal, are you doing the integration? Is that what you?
We have an integration with Clio.
You do already?
Yeah.
Okay, that was fast. Do you have any other integrations with other
Clio,
software? Okay.
We'll be adding, I think we'll do probably Zapier next, just to allow kind of the things that might be one-off integrations we can support.
What about the practice management systems that already have some kind of document automation? Is there anything? I mean, you can add to that, right? Your product does more than just that. So
there's complexities with pulling kind of documents just from there. We need them. We would need to do some work to those documents to get them in. It's not like we can just, because I looked at that, doing that for the integration of, can I just, sync all of your documents and automate them all? But, we create a questionnaire for every single document, and some of those are pretty in-depth, and some of those have a bunch of pages in there. Though getting that stuff right is important. And so I don't love the idea of just kind of pulling some of those things in. But really any practice management tool that stores what you're sending to clients right now, we can do a really good integration with, because we can send you what your clients are creating into that tool. And so without having to check your Fidu dashboard, you can look at your Clio dashboard, you can pull up a client and see the 15 NDAs that they signed, or all of their employment agreements. You can look them up right now. And so I think those type of integrations are really powerful, where we can save some time. We can kind of just feed you information back passively. So we'll do more of those for sure. I really see integrations as a general strategy. Just kind of make it easy for everybody in whatever tool that you're using.
It feels like a wise choice in my experience. Yeah. So, Blaine, we're not going to get to everything about Fidu today, but what haven't we asked that you would want people to know for the replay viewers and listeners?
You've got some good questions. I think we more or less kind of touched on everything. It's the product has a specific niche today, but we've kind of touched on kind of the ways that it can expand, and that probably would have been my answer, but it came up already. Just like these tools are pretty universal, but today it might be built more for corporate lawyers, but tomorrow it certainly doesn't have to be. Once again, a non-answer to your question.
Ashley, did you have a last question about Fidu?
Oh, I got all of them.
You got all of them?
Checked them all off.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, and added more and asked them.
Wow.
I know. I can
Very
probably
good.
come up with more if you need me to.
No, we don't need to. We're about 40 minutes in here, and I don't want to keep Blaine. I don't want to keep you away from the house any later than you have to, and Blaine as well. It's early for me, so. But why don't we have Blaine tell our listeners and viewers where to find you?
So our website is fidulegal.com.
It's spelled
FIDULEGAL.com.
Right. We do have audio only listeners, so I want to get that. And I'm at B Korte on Twitter and Fidu app on Twitter. And hello@fidulegal.com. Okay. And Ashley, where do people find you?
Depends on what they want me for.
I know I have that exact same problem. But let's talk about JurisBytes.
Okay.
Tell them where, because this is a legal tech show and you are a legal tech founder.
So many things.
You are so many things.
JurisBytes.com. Pretty easy. Ashley at JurisBytes.com.
JurisBytes is spelled how, though?
Oh, excuse me. JurisBytes. It's cute.
It is cute.
Yeah.
And it's perfect for legal tech.
Yes. And you can find us at ABA Tech Show in person this year. Booth, and I don't remember what number it is, but who looks those up by number anyway.
And because I haven't interviewed you because you had gone to market and I had some apps, I didn't get around to interviewing JurisBytes. So can you give our listeners a little information about what you do?
Okay. So Juris MS is our premier product. It is an app that we developed to allow attorneys like me, like our firm, to communicate via text message with our clients without giving out our personal cell phone numbers. The app also allows for office hours to be set. It tracks the number of messages sent and received between attorneys or the firm and clients each day to track billable time. Allows you to store the entire conversation in your file for record keeping. Just download the whole thing. And what else does it do? So many things. But really, it's just a privacy and time saver.
Excellent. Excellent. And you cannot, or well, you can, but you can't really find her easily on Twitter, which was really interesting for a legal tech person.
So bad at the Twitter.
So
I still don't get it. I'm being very transparent right now. I know I need to get better, or like hire my sister who's 8 years younger than me. But,
and let her do it. That's always.
She's an architect. She's not going to do that for me. But
so JurisBytes.com, BYTES, and Fidu Legal, FIDULEGAL.com. Thank you, Blaine, for being here. Thank you, Ashley, for being here. I appreciate you guys joining. Don't disappear after the show for those who are being interviewed. Yes, AJ, you got that right. That's JurisBytes. You spelled it correctly. We will put it in the chat, but that is correct. Thank you both. You guys, it's been fun. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
No, thank you. And hopefully you'll all come back again in a different role, because we do like to have guests return as co-hosts.
Oh, I have a new answer for my where do I want to be in 6 months?
Oh.
Perfect way to wrap it up. Where do you want to be in 6 months?
Right back on this podcast.
Oh, look at that. Ooh, very flattery will get you everywhere with me. So it is a good answer. Thank you all, and we will talk to you soon. Next week, we'll be on with Kortam. They are small claims legal tech. So that'll be next Thursday night. Hope you'll stick around or come back and see us. Have a good night, everybody.